We're going to talk more about Bad Bunny. It's just a little bit, people like the Super Bowl's over. It's all ancient history. Well, not when you have one of your co-hosts is from Puerto Rico. It's not ancient history. Because Tanya has a whole different perspective. There's been a lot of, she called it out. She's calling it MAGA hate. I hate to call it MAGA hate because I believe in MAGA. I believe in making America great again. I think that the MAGA brand has been hijacked just a little bit by, I don't know, Con Inc. maybe. But Tanya's from Puerto Rico, so she's like, I want to make a response to some of these hateful. Even President Trump had just a bombastic truth that he put out about Bad Bunny. Does he speak Spanish? Because I don't. And I watched the halftime show with Tanya. We were doing a watch party with her in Puerto Rico, me up here, and I visually I didn't find anything offensive visually. I didn't know what the lyrics were, so I'm assuming that all the bad tweets were all the harsh, mean tweets, accusatory tweets, and just horrible things people were saying. I was assuming they were pulling that from the lyrics, which I didn't understand. I asked Tanya Dude about that, and she said, no, I understand Spanish, and he actually dialed it back. Go ahead, Tanya. Did I steal your thunder on that? I was trying to set you up a little bit.
No, you did, because I could understand every word that there was to understand, because Bad Bunny happens to be from the same part of Puerto Rico as I am. So it's the same dialect, so I get what he's saying. And I have a rant. I'm sorry, Roy, but I have a rant. It's been building up because Viking and I couldn't come live and do a show before today. And you know what happens when you bottle something up.
Oh, yeah. I had that happen last week. Go ahead.
All right. So, well, I'll tell you that Bad Bunny surprised me because I've heard about him for years, and I really thought that all he was about was being provocative to gain money and fame. 'Cause I went with what everybody else is saying. Instead, at the Super Bowl, he showed us that he's an artist with a lot to say. There are a lot of layers to his show, and as is true with all art, it's really up to you how many layers you want to take in. The first layer was the joy, fun, and dancing and being entertained, what Viking Dude was talking about. And if that's all you took from the show, that's cool. And, music goes beyond language, and this was a happy show. A lot of his performance and lyrics really were an invitation to party and dance and shut Puerto Rico out. He was talking about urban dancing specifically when he talked about dancing, but we can dance in our own way. The second layer was like this living postcard that he had of Puerto Rico, because the staging was stunning. If you saw it, you got to see a cross-section of what Puerto Rico looks like from the perspective of someone that lives here, including some modern stuff, rural stuff.
Do you want me to find some freeze frames of this while you're talking, or
sure.
do you want me to park it here? Because this is queued up to where you wanted the first video to start.
Yeah, so don't show that yet. So, well, whatever.
Okay. Well, all right. Let me keep going, dude. I'll find a.
Yeah, so like he showed us modern stuff, traditional stuff, rural areas, historical sites, even there, and our power outages. And you were trying to get a hold of me for one day that I was having a massive power outage issue, and my phone kept cutting out.
Yes.
So, yeah, but if you're a purist and what you like is the traditional stuff, that was pretty much everyone in white in traditional attire, and you saw like a traditional, there's a traditional guitar called a cuatro that's got 10 strings. Viking Dude, you're into guitars.
Yes.
And
so is Roy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and since you guys are music, I can tell you that there are 4 types of music in that performance. One was his style of rap. There was salsa, African bamba drumming, and traditional Puerto Rico country music, all in there. He did perform in Spanish, and honestly, it's discouraging to see MAGA react to it with so much hostility, because the show had a joyful, positive message, and it was sad to see that it was met with so much hate. And
I'll tell you, when I go to the Caribbean, I mean, I'm expecting a scene like this. I mean, I'm going to feel juked if I don't, see if I don't have a good time like this. I mean, they're all having a good time. I mean, when I go to the Caribbean, this is what I want.
Sure.
I want dancing and music and good times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some sugar cane.
And having friends from different backgrounds, even having friends from Puerto Rico, doesn't mean you're still not biased if what you're saying is that you just hate it. And hating a show that you refuse to watch is still hate. And I'm saddened to see all the comments about culture loss and that it was an un-American performance and accusations of pornography. Because I'll get that out of the way. Like we were saying before I got started in my little rant here, he didn't sing offensive lyrics at all in the halftime show. I know that because, like I said, he's singing in my dialect. I'm from the same corner of the world that he's from, so I understood every word. He was actually born in the same town that I live and lived. Really? Yeah, and he lived in one town over.
Wow.
So
that's not touristy beach, cabanas and coconut trees cracking open and drinking, mojitos. That's blue collar. That's blue collar part of Puerto Rico. If you're saying he's from where you're at. Yeah. Yeah, the workers.
Yeah, rural. Like where he's from is more rural. And like what they say of him is true. Like his songs do include offensive content, but he didn't include that in this show.
Right. He's censored.
Yeah.
What's that, Roy?
Yeah. There was a portion that he did bleep out, and there are parts that there's the songs that he sang were about something else that didn't include offensive content. And like I've seen accusations even coming from Spanish speakers, but you gotta remember that words have different meanings in different regions. So kind of like fag means gay in the United States, but cigarette in the UK.
It's true.
So people were outraged over words that he said in his performance that really mean aunt and awesome to us.
Wow.
So if you're hating it, it's all on you.
Sure.
If you feel that your culture is threatened, I guess I really wonder, is a 14-minute show really such a threat to culture? Because you're asking him to change his art and let go of his culture so that you can be comfortable and change his music to English. But tell me, please, what is American culture anyway? Because I've lived all over the States. New York does not look, sound, or taste like Boston, Chicago, LA, Dallas, Atlanta, or Miami. Yeah. And I know people from Atlanta have such a hard time that they can barely understand the real Boston accent. Or,
That's a good point, too.
I have not been to Honolulu or Anchorage, but those look different to me too. So why can't Puerto Rico belong in there in that mix too of what you consider American? Because Puerto Rico has been a colony of the United States for 128 years. The government uses word salad instead of the word colony to describe it, but it's a colony. The United States got Puerto Rico when they jumped in to this fight against Spain for independence. And the U.S. came in as allies, but then became our rulers. And the U.S. really wanted Puerto Rico then and has been quite aggressive to hold on to Puerto Rico.
Because it's got great people.
Well, Puerto Rico is taken for land, profit, and military interests. American companies took land for sugarcane. Does Domino Sugar ring a bell?
Yeah.
There you go.
That comes from here. And they took Puerto Rican land, appropriated it for the company. The United States gave us citizenship conveniently around the time for the draft for World War I. There are 5 military bases that just last month were really convenient to the capture of Maduro in Venezuela. Puerto Rico was a stop for those ships. And now wealthy Americans use Puerto Rico as a tax haven so that they can avoid paying federal taxes.
This the hottest issue on the street right here.
Man,
So-
that's good.
That gets me to the innermost layer. I'm sorry, I'm still going. I told you I've been bottling up.
Yeah.
Bring
It
it.
gets me to the innermost layer of Bad Bunny's performance, and that was the history lesson. Because you were welcome to dance and have fun and check Puerto Rico out, but all the complaining made me more curious to look closer. And I think Bad Bunny had Ricky Martin sing What Happened to Hawaii as an intentional showstopper, so we wouldn't miss it and make us curious to look into that history. So Bad Bunny, he comes out walking through the sugarcane field up to some ladies with concrete blocks. Viking dude, that's the first time stop that I gave you.
You want me to play it?
Yeah,
Here we go. Okay,
Yeah.
ladies with concrete blocks.
yeah. And that's Operation Bootstrap. That was when the United States pushed to industrialize Puerto Rico by forcing women into factory labor and coerce women to get sterilized. So some numbers that I've seen is that between 1940 and 1970, they sterilized about 35% of women. And the practice didn't stop there. I can tell you of a case in the 80s that happened too. Women being sterilized against their will. Later in the show, Bad Bunny lifted up a Puerto Rican flag. So that flag that he's holding up with those colors, that light blue, it was illegal. We had a gag law that made it a crime to own that flag, sing patriotic songs, speak or write about independence or gather. Anyone who helped, even by sharing housing or a meal, could be arrested too.
Okay, so
So-
that's the flag.
That's a flag, that light blue flag.
Wow.
So families turned against relatives out of fear, and people were fired just out of fear. When that gag law was revoked after a decade of being in place, the colors of that flag were changed to match Old Glory. And that's the flag that he had at the end.
Here we go.
Huh?
There, I see it. Okay.
See it.
Yeah,
See it.
yeah,
Right above
that
his head
different
right
blue. So
Wow.
this gag law triggered a surveillance of Puerto Ricans by the FBI that lasted 50 years. And they have millions of records that have been declassified, and we could check them out. And they monitored hundreds of thousands of Puerto Ricans.
Wow.
The United States wanted to suppress independence so bad that you would be debanked, blacklisted, and barred from government jobs. You could be dehoused if you said anything too positive about the island or even just had that light blue flag.
Man.
So the only thing un-American about that performance that Bad Bunny did was that history he alluded to of how Americans have treated Puerto Rico. Ricky Martin singing asked Puerto Ricans not to forget our flag and not to forget our song. Bad Bunny told us to believe in ourselves. We are worth more than we know, while the billboard behind them flashed that the only thing more powerful than hate is love. And that's a polar opposite to the messages in the MAGA tantrum. The U.S., I mean, that just tells me that the U.S. wants Puerto Rico, but not its people.
There's Ricky Martin.
I want the people.
So get this. All that was asked was that you give it a chance to be entertained with joy and dance for 14 minutes. But the eagerness to pile on to hateful narratives, rejecting a show without curiosity, refusing to ask, refusing to care, that says more to me than Bad Bunny's performance ever could. And I want to say that I'm really proud of Viking Dude because we watched that show together live, and there was a moment that I thought wrongfully that the show was going to take a turn to the worse, and I wanted to bail. And I looked at he was having fun, and he was just asking me, "Is that Puerto Rico? Is that what Puerto Rico looks like?" And he just was kind of amazed and curious, and honestly, the answer is yes. And I'm really thankful for Viking Dude because he didn't look down on us. And he hasn't looked down on me even when I expected him to. And you've always been curious about this American colony. You get it, dude. Thank you.
Wow.
Well, I knew that this was Puerto Rico, this shot here. I didn't have to ask about that because the power's always going out.
Yeah.
Power's always going out.
Isn't that insane?
Like, peaches and bananas might not happen, because that happens quite frequently down there. The power goes out. So anyway, all right, dude. Well,
Hey,
yes.
you want a funny story to this?
Yeah.
2016, when Donald Trump was running, was it the first presidential debate where Donald Trump told Hillary Clinton because you'd be in jail? Do you guys remember that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know where I watched that at?
Where?
We have Puerto Rican neighbors in our subdivision, and her kid went to school with my kid, and they played and they were friends for a long, long time. They love Donald Trump, and they invited me over to watch that presidential debate in their house, in their living room, while they cooked all kinds of food. And we sat there and watched that entire presidential debate together with my Puerto Rican neighbors and friends. I mean, that was one of the most unforgettable times to me, is sitting in their living room, and they're hooting and hollering when he said, because you'd be in jail. You just thought people were dying. They were screaming. And I was like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. That was so good, Tanya. Like, I almost teared up a minute. I mean, that was good. And Bad Bunny, you're right. He probably did it right. And he knew that there was going to be outrage. And they want us all mad at each other and not understanding each other. And not, it's crazy what we have to deal with down here. So people need to stop and take a breath, man.
Yeah, because he has done controversial things, and I don't know his whole story, because I was just like everyone else. I dismissed him because everything that I heard about him were all the shocking, provocative things that he did. But
That's what they do.
he had this opportunity to do the halftime show, and what he did was, let me show you my home.
True.
And so, I kind of get it that people were scared and needed to have an alternative show. But once it happened, once you knew what he did, couldn't you check it out? Because I still hear people bashing it and trashing it when they haven't even seen it, and that's what that's what honestly hurts.
Well, that's the real division here, isn't it? And I'm not blaming either side, but you have this fifth generational warfare, propaganda set up where you're painting this Super Bowl halftime to be the worst thing ever. So we're going to go over here and we're going to MAGA it up, and we're going to compete with each other. And it creates a line of division where people can have to choose these sides, and then they're bickering at each other. You don't see the Wall Street bankers bickering about this stuff. You don't see these tech giants bickering about it. We're all down here in the muck together, the peasant class, and they're keeping us fighting over stupid nothingness, right? And maybe Bad Bunny understood that when he did his performance. So.
Yeah. I'm really sad to learn since then that he actually cut the halftime show short for security reasons. He had the sugarcane grass people there for coverage because he was worried that he might get shot during the show. He wore a bulletproof help me out here if I can do my words.
Bulletproof vest. Yeah.
Bulletproof vest, yes. I can talk. And that's crazy to think that an artist felt like he needed to do that to express his heart. It's just...
Well, I think people need more discernment, and we're living in a time, you guys know this, we're living in a time where the news cycle is not even 24/7, it's 27/48. Everything's coming at us at breakneck speed, right? And we're in the media, we're doing all this stuff, and then we've got all of this crazy stuff going on. And so what happens in X and everywhere else, everybody wants to be that number one person. You want to get that story out, and then, oh my God, I got to feel relevant, so I need to comment on this. I need to tell people how I feel. And so everybody they automatically form their opinions. There's no discernment, knee-jerk reaction. Next thing you know, everybody's just bickering and fighting and being stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, I fell for some of the early propaganda, and
I did too.
Tanya Dude asked me to, give it a chance. Did she want to watch it? I was like, okay, we'll watch it. Like one of those.
I'll be honest, Viking, I did the same thing. They told me about this guy's like a cross-dresser.
I was expecting debauched, like worse than any other Super Bowl. But the way they described it, actually, it's probably one of the cleanest performances I've seen in
what she laid out there
forever.
The layers of what he was showing, which I never wouldn't have known that. I mean, like you said, you see the power.
It was educational.
We know Puerto Rico. Good Lord. And it's a territory. And why do you have power outages in Puerto Rico, for God's sakes? To me, that's ridiculous.
Well, they do have some hurricanes. I mean, come on now.
Yes, but still.
It's the Caribbean.
Man. Still. But I appreciate that, Tanya. You gave us an educational lesson and a history lesson all into one. I love that. Making people understand each other.
Yeah, I mean that was what was really. I was blown away by that performance, and after that the intro where I was kind of like where he's gonna go. I'm scared. That he's gonna do something embarrassing. But it was like, whoa, he did that, and I was blown away.
And a shout out to Angel Rosario, because he's been hot on this topic for a while.
Oh, has he?
He's been schooling people about Bad Bunny. He's like, hey man, and even I would read it because I didn't understand it, and I'd already had a prejudgment. But you know what? I can't judge music like that.
Well, we need to clip this segment and send it to Angel.
We do.
Is he from Puerto Rico?
I don't know if he's Puerto Rican or not, but he was, he was on Bad Bunny stuff like really early on, like telling people like, hey, slow down. You have no idea. He was saying, and just, like, you have no idea what the culture is like, what he represents. And I'm like, I get that. But again,
I mean, he
not people's art,
Yeah, like he does carry a lot of that hurt, because all that history is things that happened to our parents. Yes. So like my mom was one of the people that was sterilized against her will.
Man.
And it was something that she had a medical emergency, and at the door to the OR room they said, you're gonna die if we don't do this, but we're not doing this unless you consent to being sterilized. So she just scribbled a non-signature because she really did not want to consent, but they weren't going to treat her. So it was just, like that stuff. It's a cruel history. Like we're angry about the J6ers, and when I saw what was happening to the J6ers, is one of the things that made me jump in harder. Because I knew what they have done to Puerto Rico, and there were some parallels there, some similarities there, but even that was tame compared to what they did to people here for decades.
Man. I'm glad you shared that. That was awesome.